Hey folks, Kirkalmighty here. Welcome back to my multiplayer series against the Ironduke. This is episode 4, and I believe we're on the 8th turn now. I did not create a video for turn 7. Wasn't a whole lot going on, just some reinforcing. But turn 8 is a little more exciting because I declared war on the Ironduke. Not a whole lot of combat. Mostly I just advanced my forces. I decided I didn't want to wait any longer because I really wanted to get my forces up to the edge of this forest so I don't have to fight for this forest. Which you can see I advanced forward and I got most of my units up to the edge of that forest. I actually brought these guys out and exposed them, but I felt pretty comfortable doing that because I hadn't seen as much force around here as I thought. These guys were all, this unit was kind of in the same position, but the rest of these were kind of further back here, and I pushed them up, because remember I could only see him. Well, now I see some other units here too as well. These units I'm looking at here right now, from the intelligence I'm getting, they're looking pretty defensive in nature, just mainly rifle, and the only attachment there is machine gun, which is really just a defensive unit. It's kind of worthless in offense. And my intelligence I don't think changed at all for these units over here. This is exactly what I was seeing before. I've got guns out to all of these armies now. As you can see, I had to use some production cities to get it caught up, even though I've got 2 gun factories, but before I declared war I wanted these guys all to have their guns. 1 infantry gun, 1 anti-tank gun. They're basically heavy infantry, and I've given them their historical names here. These are grenadiers, and the headquarters units I'm now calling the Wehrmacht HQs. These guys down here, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Gebirgssjäger, I don't know how you would say that. But that is the historical name for basically mountaineer type units. So, now, the combat that did occurred around here, and it was kind of interesting. Now over here you can see I've got a couple dive bomber units over here, and I do have a dive bomber up here too. It took everything to get him up there, so he actually didn't attack anywhere. Not that there's anything to attack up here, but these 2 dive bomber units actually did get involved in something over here. Now my initial plan, as I moved forces down, was to move forces into here, and actually attack this guy right here. I wanted to push him out of there and take over that forest space right there. My plans got a little changed because what I was intending to do was to soften this unit with these guys over here, these dive bombers, which I had 8 of them. I took some losses. These 8 dive bombers were going to soften that unit, then I was going to attack it. But as I approached and I got intelligence on this stack, things changed a lot because I saw just this huge stack of units right here. Overstacked, really. And it's just chock full of artillery guns and armor, and it was just begging to be attacked by my dive bombers. I had to attack it. It being kind of out in the open here, just sitting on this oil, you see there's really nothing there. It's just open terrain, farmland, or plains, or what. I think it's just plains with oil on it. Yeah, plains with oil. So they were exposed, and they had that stacking penalty working against them. I knew I could just deal some serious damage with those dive bombers, which I did, and I'm very happy. The downside of that let's fix that. The downside of that is I didn't soften this unit up, and just for the heck of it, I did come in with a couple of these infantry units and hit at that guy and this guy. I was hoping maybe at least be able to take out one of those tanks or something. I didn't. I lost quite a few rifle, but that's all I lost, so I'm happy about that. But I lost 20 rifle from him, 20 from him. Still got all my orders, still got all my guns, so I can't complain too much there. It could have gone worse for me than it did. It didn't really do much there at all. I think I might have killed a couple rifle off here, and that was it. Down here, though, that strike actually did quite a bit of damage here. Now I lost 3 dive bombers in that attack, and that's because he had some fighters actually intercept me, and I was aware that that was a possibility. But I didn't think he'd have a whole lot there to deal with, and he didn't really. He had 2 fighters come and intercept. Because of that, I lost 3 of my 8 dive bombers. But my dive bombers took out 4 artillery, 2 heavy artillery, and 2 of those Rhino tanks. And those Rhino tanks' production value is really, it's pretty close to the dive bomber. It's actually a little more than the dive bomber. So these 2 Rhinos will probably cost about the same as these 3 dive bombers here. So I'd say I made out definitely for sure on that dive bomber attack. And he's lost a lot of readiness now with these. You look at these artillery units, the readiness is kind of in the toilet now. So they're not going to be a whole lot of use to him when it comes back around to him. I don't see myself really getting hit by him this round, I guess is what I'm getting at. I think most likely he's going to see how vulnerable they are sitting right there, and he's going to use what little action points he has to get him the heck out of there back here towards Brest. That's my prediction on that. I've got artillery of my own coming in the next turn. As long as these empty shells I created here don't get destroyed somehow, the TOE system is going to send guns directly into them, because I got gun factories sending artillery units directly into their HQ, which means they should just filter out immediately out to these units, along with some horses to haul them around. 4 field artillery units to each one of these. This will give me some extra ammunition I need really to pound him out and get him out of these forests down here. I want to get them out of there, and I want to capture this oil, and I want to start pushing on Brest. I really want to put the squeeze on him, pressure him. These guys will get their guns soon. I don't know where next round I'll send artillery to, but I'm probably going to build some more field artillery besides these, since all of my units are pretty well stacked right now on their infantry guns and AT guns. I can focus my artillery factory's production on actual field artillery. Next turn I'll get the aircraft factory built. I actually wanted to build that this turn, but unfortunately it cost me 20 PP just to declare war, and I did not account for that. And I think I may have spent just a little bit more PP after that, because I was already shorted my 80 and I wasn't worried about it anymore. But you can see I've got 71 coming next turn. I'll be well over my 80. So I will get an aircraft factory built next turn. And we'll see what my opponent does here on his turn, what kind of a counterattack he does, or where he pulls back. I wonder if he isn't going to move in on me up here somehow, maybe with some armor. I was hoping to see some mud actually by now. It's November. I'm pretty sure I chose full range climate when I did my random generation of this map, but it's got me wondering now if I didn't. I mean, it's November and there's still no mud. No snow, nothing up here. I would expect at least mud by now. I don't know. I guess I will see here. Next round, maybe we'll have some mud. I think mud will actually benefit me more than my opponent right now because he has armor and I do not. Right now, I'm focusing on heavy infantry and air power and artillery. At some point I'm definitely going to be building some armor, but right now it's not part of my game plan at the moment. So we'll see what happens here, and stay tuned for the next episode.